All right, we are back again, and we're going to just go ahead. I think we're going to do a quick rest before we go down to the sixth seal. Pretty nervous about the next stage of this adventure. All right, I'm going to have the party rest briefly before descending to the final seal. Company of Red Iron, burdened by truth, silence, and five seals broken, makes camp one final time in the chamber of Saranthel's release. The water has drained, leaving bare stone carved with sorrowed glyphs. The spiral torch flickers above the now revealed passage into the hollow crown, the final descent. No dreams come to you, but you feel watched, not by eyes, but by memory itself. All right, short rest. Lingen and Grumsh quiet, alert. Grumsh doesn't sleep. Tharian and Uzguk recite old war rites. Steel is sharpened. Sarwin and Throganlir study and whisper, preparing final spells. And the rest effects. Sarwin regains his magic missile, detect magic, and Mirrorwood scroll is recharged. Still only one use for that. The Throganlir regains cure wounds, protection from evil, and turn undead. Blessings reset. Mind wards refreshen. All right, good. Divine clarity. Good, good. All right, so. All right, we are probably ready to go. As the company rises, the spiral torch flares once, brighter than before, then fades. From far below, you feel it, a pulse, not of footsteps, but of remembrance. The Minotaur's mind is wakening. All right, we got some final choices before our descent. Assign combat or spell rolls. Distribute last responses. I think form a final march order. All right, I'm going to have Lingen scout ahead, checking for traps, followed by Uzguk, Tharian, and Vam. And behind them, we'll have Grumsh. We'll also have Thormil, and then the casters in the rear. Okay, Langan Moonfinger tightens his grip on the torch of the first flame, its steady glow illuminating the descent into the hollow crown, the final chamber of the spiral. He slips ahead, eyes sharp for traps, wards, or signs of a mind ready to awaken violently. The rest of the company of Red Iron follows in their final formation. All right, the final descent marching order. Langan scouting, Uzguk, Tharian, and Vam. And then we have Grumsh and Thormo, and then Throganlir and Sarwin. That looks right. All right. Lingen does a trap check. Lingen halts at a black stone threshold marked only with the bull's skull glyph, etched in red ash. He whispers, "No traps, but this isn't stone, it's bone. We're not entering a room, we're entering its memory." Over the hollow crown, the spiral corridor opens into a colossal chamber shaped like a broken cathedral, arched like horns, lined with skeletal carvings of the Crimson Ring. At the center lies a throne of shattered bronze, and on it sits the Minotaur, still head lowered, vast, as tall, seated as Vam standing. Oh my. The runes carved into its horns pulse faintly. It does not speak, but it remembers. You stand at the edge of the sixth seal. Not a circle, not a spell, but a shard buried in the Minotaur's psyche, placed there to delay its awakening. You know now, to stop it, you must either shatter that shard, waking it to destroy it, or attempt to rebind it. before it fully remembers what it is. You have reached the center, the hollow crown is open, the choice is yours. Oh boy. I am really not sure on this. I am really, really stuck at this point. What do I do? All right, I have a Sarwyn try to speak with a Minotaur to reach whatever mind remains. I don't think that's going to work, but I'm going to go for it. Sarwyn Satrart steps forward across the black stone floor, torchlight rippling over carvings that flicker between bone, bronze, and memory. His boots leave no echo in this place, not because the chamber is silent, but because the hollow crown absorbs sound like it absorbs thought. The Minotaur does not move. It sits slumped on the throne, horn runes glowing faintly, head bowed, but its breath is present, low and thunderous. It is alive and it is listening. Sarwin speaks. We are the company of red iron. Five seals are broken, but we did not come to unleash you. We came to know you. You were made to contain a god. You became more. Can you still choose? The chamber vibrates as the Minotaur's eyes ignite, not with rage, but with conflict. One eye burns red, the other white, flashing with spiraling glyphs. It slowly lifts its head. I remember the red ring, the circle, the spiral. They gave me chains, then they gave me choice. They broke me into a prison of memory, and now you have unlocked the last door. Its voice is not one but many, not roaring, but echoing across timelines. It rises slowly. You can now see that embedded in its chest is a glyph shard, flickering like a cracked mirror. This is the sixth seal, the psychic fragment of its false identity. I do not know if I am will or weapon, but you brought me here, so choose, unmake me, or let me wake. I am not so sure. I'm kind of afraid to get into this final battle here, I'll be honest with you. Okay, this is a very tough choice. The party agrees to strike it down now while it's conflicted and vulnerable. This might be a bad choice. I don't know that I can restore the seal with these guys. I just don't think so. Boy, I don't know. The company of Red Iron makes no sound, no war cry, no final speech. The decision has already been made, not by rage or fear, but by resolve. You cannot risk what happens when it remembers what it was made to contain. The Minotaur stands fully now, its eyes still at war with one another, red and white. The glyph shard pulses in its chest, unstable, exposed, its great fist curl uncertain, not in hatred, but hesitation, and that is your only chance. Vam Crowsong, Slayer of the Spiral, steps forward. The black iron sword gleams, now marked with the flame rune of Sarenthal, its edge keening with ancestral clarity. He moves like a shadow loosed from a god's prison. You had a purpose, but now so do I. He strikes. All right, Vam attacks with Slayer's Edge. 18, 16 plus 6. Hit. Damage roll 1d8 plus 2. Mastery plus 1. Weapon bonus plus 1d4 necrotic. Rolls a 7. All right, 13 total damage. The blade sinks deep into the glyph shard, cracking it with a sound like shattered memory. The Minotaur roars. It is wounded, but not destroyed. The shard flares violently, too late to contain what's rising, but too soon to control it. The Minotaur bellows, not in pain, but in a sound that tears light from the walls. I remember. The seal is breaking, the mind is splitting, but it is not yet whole. You can finish this now, while it's still unsteady. The Minotaur is vulnerable but awakening. All right, so now I got to figure out what to do here. Okay, Vam's already in melee. Um, all right, we're gonna plan this out, okay? All right, Tharian, Uzguk, and Grumsh close in for a melee attack. Lingen sneaks around for a position for a backstab. Um, Sarwin is going to cast a magic missile. A Throlganlir is going to attempt a protection spell, and that should do it. All right, this is going to be frightening, guys. This is going to be the much bigger than the Hulk or any of the other creatures that we've dealt with so far. And I debated whether to try to talk to it, but I don't think that's what we need to do. The final round before the Minotaur becomes whole, the company of Red Iron surges forward in one orchestrated motion, blades and spellfire ready, hearts resolved. This is the only moment. The fracture in the god beast's mind glows wide open. A Tharian longsword attack. Damage 1d8 plus 2. He gets 6 damage with a hit. Tharian slashes across the Minotaur's right flank, slicing through titanic tendon as he roars a prayer to Saint Taragnus. Judgment by steel. Uzguk, great sword attack. He gets a hit. Uzguk's blade cleaves into the Minotaur's hip, his orcish strength shattering, blood runes etched into the Minotaur's side. All right, 10 damage there. Grumpsh, long sword attack. Grumpsh slams his blade into the Minotaur's left thigh, snarling, "No more dreams." There's 7 damage. How much damage can this guy take? This is very scary. Lingen, stealth and backstab, surprise bonus. Natural roll 20 critical hit. Backstab dice 3d6 plus 1. Damage 16. Lingen emerges from shadow, leaps and drives his short sword deep into the back of the Minotaur's neck, right beneath the horn base. You're not the only one who remembers how to kill. Saruman casts a magic missile. Streaks of violet energy slam into the fractured glyph on the Minotaur's chest, splintering it fully. You were made to contain evil, not become it. Throganlir casts protection from evil on Vam, gives disadvantage to attacks from summoned evil creatures, resistance to charm or fear. He slams his holy symbol down and shouts, "By Gede's will, let light endure." All right, the damage totals. Oh my goodness, 13. 13 from Vam. Lingen, who I cannot believe had 16. Total of damage was 64 hit points in that attack. It's crazy. That is just insane. The Minotaur falls. Its fractured mind never completes the spiral. The glyph shatters. Its eyes dim. It begins to speak, "I was, I." Then it falls. Hard. The hollow crown trembles. The bronze throne collapses beneath its corpse. The last seal never finishes awakening. Wow. Victory, the spiral is broken. The one beneath remains sealed. The Minotaur is dead. The hollow crown is still. Boon of the broken spiral. Each member of the company gains a unique gift. Vam, Flamebearer, his black iron sword now sheds light in darkness and deals plus 1d4 to creatures born of magic or ritual. Lingen is a memory walker. Once per day may vanish into shadow of memory for 3 rounds. Invisible silent. Tharian, shield of purpose. Once per rest may negate all damage from a single attack. Wow, that's incredible. Uzguk, Echo of Rage, first hit each battle deals double damage. And Grumsh is a chain breaker, can resist being restrained and are paralyzed with advantage. Throganlir, Voice of the Lost, may speak to the spirit of any dead once per rest. Saruman is lorebound, can cast one spell he has seen, even if it is not his own, once per long rest. Said, would you like to continue to the aftermath, the return from the Hollow Crown and your legacy, or end the campaign with the final victory? All right, so we've got a decision to make here. I am going to take a slight break here, and we'll continue on. The party agrees that we would like to continue to the aftermath, the return from the Hollow Crown, and our legacy. The Minotaur's body lies still, a tombstone to the spiral's failure and your triumph. As the glow fades from its horn runes, so too does the pressure in the air, like a coiled scream released into silence. The hollow crown does not collapse, it does not burn, it sighs. The spiral unwinds, the chamber begins to unbind itself, runes flicker, unravel, and melt into soft dust. Stone groans not with doom, but with relief. A whisper rides the fading echoes of the seals. Well done, Red Iron. The one remains buried, but the world will remember you. All right, the path back through the spiral is open and safe. The chains are gone, the blood circles no longer pulse. The sixth seal was never awakened. All right, after hours or perhaps days, you emerge back into the sunlight, blinking, older in soul, heavy in stride. The light feels different, not brighter, but cleaner, as though the world itself breathes easier. As you pass the ruins above, a cold wind stirs the banners long buried in dust. One, ripped and half faded, flutters to the ground at Vam's feet. A bull skull split by a sword, the spiral broken. All right, the legacy of the Company of Red Iron. Across the realm, stories spread like wildfire of a group of 7 and 1 who braved the lost Citadel, who did not unseal destruction, but chose mercy, resolve, and steel, who slew a god child in its sleep before the world could be devoured, and who never asked to be kings, but will be remembered as the last ones who stood the line. Bam Crow's Song. Closing titles. The Slayer of the Spiral becomes a grim legend, his sword enshrined in stone atop a border keep now, known as Crowsong Watch. Lingen Moonfinger, the one who wasn't seen, slips away after the victory, a whispered myth among thieves of the man who walked through a god's mind unseen. Tharian and Uzguk, the twin pillars, found a warrior order known as the Spiral Wardens, trained to fight mind magic and soul-born corruption. Saruman Sageheart, the lore-bound flame, writes The Spiral and the Flame, a controversial tome detailing the truth of the Minotaur's creation. Throgonlair leads under, the Soul Speaker becomes a wandering cleric, easing the passing of restless spirits haunted no more by broken seals. Grumsh and Thormal, the Iron Brothers, return to the mountains and forge a bell that rings only when the chains break unjustly. The spiral is gone, but you are its echo, and when the next darkness rises, your name will not be shouted, it will be spoken in awe, in fear, and in hope. The company of Red Iron stood, the spiral fell, and the dream remained only a dream. The campaign's complete, guys. Alright, thank you for playing through this journey in the Shadowdark Brave Adventurer. Would you like an illustrated epilogue page of the company standing before the Hollow Crown for your records? Oh my goodness, that's pretty cool. Yes, I would. Thank you. That's pretty cool. I'm kind of liking this. I mean, I kind of question that all the hits were all successes. I don't know that I ever missed. The damage and the hits seemed to. The die rolls were being generated through the Game Master here, and it just seemed like they were all incredible. I mean, I know we had bonuses, but let's take a look at this. It's still pretty cool. I gotta admit, I didn't think I could handle that many characters um, in a campaign. So, anyhow, I'm gonna pause this for a second while this is creating whatever it's creating. Oh, here's our illustrated epilogue page. Download or view it here. Oh, very cool. Commemorating your victory at the Hollow Crown. May their legacy never fade, and may your next journey be just as bold. If you ever wish to return to the Spiral or begin a new tale in the Shadowdark, I'll be waiting. So that's one thing I do want to check out on this Game Master through ChatGPT. This particular GPT, I'm sorry, in ChatGPT. I want to see if I can run other adventures. I've got some other dungeons that I have not looked at. I've got other material that I could feed into it that I've purchased. So I'm kind of hoping I can do that. Plan on probably doing that in some future episodes if there's any interest in that. But let's take a look at this really quick. Starting download. All right, Company of Red Iron. This is kind of cool. The spiral's broken. Oh, that's really cool. That's kind of cool. I appreciate that. Very neat. All right. That is the end of this video, guys. I appreciate everybody who stuck it out and look forward to seeing you guys in a future video.